I am at Pinnacle Fertility, right around the corner from where I live in Chicago. Some new reproductive endocrinologist, Dr. Courtney Murphy, who I became connected to through ASRM. What brought you into this field and your training?
I was a very, very early med student, lost in the world of what to do when you have a platter of options in front of you, really. You have medicine, you have surgery, and I fell in the lap of a reproductive endocrinologist that I followed and worked with, and I just kept coming back after rotation, being like, this is the coolest job in the world. A lot of science, some surgery, but there's a huge connection element to what we do. And it really, really is a beautiful art that we get to do in taking care of patients and individuals through one of the most intimate parts of someone's life. So I feel very, very lucky to be in the field that we're in.
Yeah. A lot of people know that follow me on social media or have worked with me. I am very passionate about connecting with physicians and fertility clinics to help them bridge the gap for patients like me and potentially like you who are at the end of their treatment journey and the baby never came. Maybe a donor egg, a surrogate, or even adoption don't feel like the right answers for your family building outcome. So we often have historically left our fertility journeys without a baby and without any resources. So Dr. Murphy and I were chatting today just about how we can better support patients. What emotional support do you think has maybe not been always present, and why is it important in the work that you do?
As we meet every patient, it's so important in understanding what their story is, what got them to your door, and what motivates them to continue moving forward. And we know everybody walking in, the goal is to get them a baby. And it's really, really emotionally charged for the patient, I think, and the provider too, when we don't get there, right? And there's a lot of uncertainty about what do we do next. And I think it's important for everybody to know that that uncertainty doesn't always just lie with the patient. I think providers are uncertain of what do we say? Do we have the right words? Do we have the right resources? Did we fail this patient? Is there something more that we can do? And I think just acknowledging that is so, so important from both sides. And then knowing what resources that we have to support that emotional journey, like you said, along the way is critical.
Historically, until I started telling my story back in 2021, there weren't people out there talking about how you can still feel like a successful person as somebody who is worthy of a life that they're proud of if you didn't achieve your goal of motherhood through fertility treatments. So that's what we were talking about today, is what resources we can offer patients, how to bring that conversation into part of the treatment pathway. Learning about my work and the things that I do, what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah. So when we offer patients treatment, of course we have our medical treatment that we can offer, but when we come to the road, there's a lot of emotional support, not to say mental treatment, but just working through the process that you never imagined you may be in that yourself. And I think before there wasn't much communication about this because there weren't resources that existed. So now knowing that we have coaching, and coaching can take place in many forms, but it's so important when you have a coach that knows what you've been through and is doing it yourself and is working with individuals and women who are on the same new trajectory that they never anticipated being in, and having a community that's speaking your language and is using words and concepts that you may have never thought about for yourself is so important.
Thank you. I encourage people, if you are in the midst of your fertility treatment and you feel like you might be towards the end and you aren't being offered the resources you need, to talk to your provider, talk to your clinic, ask them for more, because they might not know that there is a desire for you to have more resources.
Absolutely. Just say, be your own advocate at the same time, because the reality is physicians may not even know this resource exists, but by you asking the question, we're then going to go look, and this is what we're going to find. Lana's got a beautiful book about, so now what does life look like after, in addition to the coaching program. So if maybe talking about it isn't the step you're ready for, maybe reading in privacy is the step. So listen to you know what makes the most sense for you, and don't be scared to ask for that.
Thanks for joining us today from Pinnacle Fertility in Chicago.